We got Texas and Washington. That's going to be the 8:45 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. That's the Caesar Superdome. The All-State Sugar Bowl. That's what I was looking for. Washington and Texas. And Texas, I think Quinn Ewers is coming back. Some side news because I believe Malik Murphy, their backup quarterback, has entered the transfer portal, which means Manning's going to be the guy, not next year, but maybe the year after next.
Yeah. So looking at this game here, the offensive numbers for both of these teams are very good as well. Some of the tops in the nation. Texas defense is right there towards the top of the nation as well. And, the difference between Texas and some of the Big Ten schools is Texas they do play some good offenses out in the Big 12. That's what the Big 12 is known for, is good offenses. They don't have good defenses. They have good offenses. So the fact that Texas has got one of the top defenses in the nation does say something for me in this one. But Washington has a pretty good defense as well. And let's look at some of the rushing numbers on the year. So Texas is ranked in the top 25 in the nation in rush yards per game. Now, they did have, I think his name is Ja'Cory Brooks. I know his last name is Brooks. Was one of the best running backs in the nation for a while. He is out with a torn ACL, but they do have a freshman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, who has came in, and all he has done is just pick up where Brooks left off. Washington does have a very good run defense, though. They only give up 134 rush yards a game. Washington has done better as of late running the ball, but towards the beginning of the year, they had some bad numbers running the ball, which is why they're just sitting at 100th in the nation in rush yards per game at 125. Texas only gives up 81 rush yards a game. So they've got a very good rush defense. Texas passing numbers, Quinn Ewers has done a fantastic job this year of 287 yards a game. Washington's pass defense is not very good, 263 yards a game given up through the air. But Washington through the air, number one in the nation with Michael Penix Jr. at pass yards a game at 344 yards a game. And this is where Texas is a little bit vulnerable in their pass defense. They give up 241 pass yards a game. So we can see a lot of yards through the air in this game right here for both teams. I'm going to look at what you've done for me lately. All Texas did was go out and just completely dominate in the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma State. And they did what they needed to do overall this year. Washington, all they did was win, including beating Oregon not once, but twice. And in that second one, Oregon was favored by 8.5 points. And all Washington did was say, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to show you. They rushed for more yards than Oregon did. They shut down Oregon for a lot of that game. Now, Oregon did get going there for a little bit, but Washington answered right back. And you know what? Washington still has something to prove. I'm going to take Washington to beat Texas in this game.
No. I mean, this hurts you because you just chose the team that I'm going to choose. Look. No, I'm joking. Look, Washington. I'm glad you chose Washington. Never mind. You done changed my mind. Washington has done nothing but just win, and they are the most explosive team, and I get that. Let me read you off these scores. USC, they won by 10, 52-42. Utah, they won by 7, 35-28. Oregon State, they won by 2, 22-20. Washington State, they won by 3, 24-21. Oregon, they won by 3 again, 34-31. Their last 3 games that they've won, they've literally won on a combined score of 8 points. That's going to bite them in the butt at some point, and I think it could be against the Texas Longhorns. And for that reason, and for the biggest reason, I want to see the rematch. Give me Bama, give me Texas and the daddy, and I'm going to pull for the Longhorns. I think they're a little bit more physical than Washington, even though Washington's got that big play capability. I just think Texas is going to hit harder, and that may prevent Washington from being able to go over the middle for long. I don't know. I don't know, because at the end of the day, I could see this being a very high-scoring affair. I mean, you see Washington's games. They score points. You see Texas's last 2 games where they scored 57 and 49 respectfully against Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Texas Tech has had a down year, but that's no pushover whatsoever. Um, I give me the Longhorns. Give me the Longhorns. And another reason why I kind of want to pull for a team, not because it's Texas. I want to pull for a team that's got a loss in the playoff just to prove that the record doesn't always mean what the record isn't always the definition of a good team. Now, Washington, I believe, is a good team. But to discredit Texas in this matchup just because Washington's undefeated, which a lot of people will do, I think that's a little bogus. I think Texas Longhorns is a good team, and I think they'll get the win, and I would love to see the rematch in the championship game. Give me the Longhorns.
And you know what? I can make an argument for Texas to win as well. But when you talk about those scores right there for Washington and how they've won those games, they've done it in different ways.
They have.
And I think that adversity is what helps them out in this game. I know Texas has also won some close games.
Yep.
But
overtime against Kansas State, 3 points against TCU. Yeah, I mean they've had some close ones.
But they've done it a lot of the same way, just doing what they do. You look at some of the high scoring affairs that Washington has had this year, but they've also had some low scoring games as well that they've had to just grind it out and win. And that's where I think that they are just a little bit more tested. But I think this is going to be another very good